I'm originally from the States, but I moved over here, oh my gosh, going on 10 years now. I've got dual citizenship. So originally I moved over to work with horses, and that's pretty much 7 days a week. So I saw an ad for American football based in Manchester and tried out. So went to my trials, and because of my dual citizenship, I was eligible to play for Great Britain. So I've played tackle and flag, which is like our non-contact version, for going on 9 years now, which is a very long time.
What made you, obviously you just said that you were working with horses. So did you just find that you preferred American football over horse riding, or was it just more kind of, what did you prefer about it over every other sport, if any, you played?
Yeah, so I mean, I'd say to start off with, horse riding I've always loved, and it's still something, I'm very passionate about. But there's something about American football where it's a couple different things. It's the environment, so the people you meet, they so much become like your family, really. So that kind of social side, I was definitely looking for something with a bit of American culture. Even though I'd never played contact sport before, I just figured go for it, right? I mean, I think when you're out of your comfort zone, you're so much more willing to take risks. So there was that piece, and then it was the actual element of playing the sport. It almost became like my form of meditation, where for me, meditation is you don't think about anything else in your life. You're focusing in on one thing, and that's what that was, right? I can play and nothing else in the world matters except for the football that's in front of me.
Completely get it, because I'm the same with hockey. I go there, I play hockey, and I just switch off from everything. So I completely understand where you're coming from. So obviously we sent you the shock absorber padded run. Tell us a bit about it. How have you found it? Have you tried it out? What have you tried it out on? Is it more of a gym sports bra for you? How's it kind of working for you, really?
To be honest, I've used it everywhere. I've used it in everything that I've done, and I love it. So I've used it playing flag football. I've used it playing tackle. I've used it playing, like, just going to the gym, and it's been amazing. Like, I've love it because the way it fits, and like the fact that you can make it racer back in the back as well. One of the things I talked to like everyone about in the beginning when I was looking for a sports bra was when we play tackle football, you wear pads, and they kind of like hit you in a funny spot. And where you're taught to hit people is pretty much in the chest area. Like that's literally where your aiming point is. So that's what I thought, I'll go for the padded one as well, see if that makes a difference. And it's been terrific. And, I think it's so comfortable, and like I literally wear it all the time now.
That's so glad to hear. So we'd love to know a bit more about your sports bra journey leading up to this. Have you always worn sports bras? Which ones have you used before this one?
Yeah, so I've pretty much live in sports bras and always have. I pretty much live and work out here all the time. So that is my life. But I found as I'm kind of getting older, I want to feel a bit more feminine. So I've always just used kind of the like plain Jane sports bra in terms of like kind of just gives you like a uniboob look, if you know what I mean. Whereas it's nice to have a sports bra where you feel like, okay, I can still be athletic, I can still be sporty, but feel like I've got a bit of shape to me and a bit of like femininity in that sense. And it's really interesting how that changes, just like, or if you have like a little bit of padding or something like that, all of a sudden it just makes you feel like a bit more feminine, not like when I look down, it's just straight down and it's just like one uniboob.
Completely get what you mean. So we read that you're also a coach. Yeah. So do you think that there's enough sports bra education within the sporting industry? For one, that's one question in itself, and then making sure that you and women in sport are kind of fully equipped with sports bras. That's obviously two separate questions. You can answer them together, whatever you'd like, really.
Well, I definitely think there is not enough education for women, for young girls. I mean, I know a bunch of my teammates who won't mind me saying this, they, especially some of the bigger chested girls, like they wear 2 sports bras, or, they have to like tape themselves in, and you think there's got to be a better solution. And I think not even knowing that there are other choices, like I didn't know that there were sports bras that were as supportive as this, that you could like adjust everything. And I think from a coaching perspective, and something that I'm really keen to kind of develop more, and I think working with you guys on is, especially for our younger girls who, you know, we hear so much about girls dropping out from sports, and especially in those teenage years, I do find that a lot of it is, you know, you like, I'll be at a session, delivering a session, and they're like holding themselves, running around because they don't know what to wear or what not to wear. And I think that the more education that we can give people, and I think especially for the younger kids as well, the younger girls, I think they're almost afraid to ask. So if you're like, all right, you know, the information is here, or you can find it on the internet, or, you know, here, just go to this link and it will help direct you and take away those nerves and that kind of awkwardness for them, I think it would help make sport a lot more inclusive for them too.
So have you ever struggled to like find a sports bra?
I mean, you usually just go for like really basic. I mean, I think you have to bring it back to the beginning of how many people actually get fitted for one, how many people actually wear the appropriate size for themselves. And I think if I look at sports bras I've worn in the past, it's pretty much like, okay, that's just a medium. That's all there is to it. And you could be a medium, you can be any size within the medium. So it's kind of a bit of trial and error. And again, that's still just your basic, like, not really, it's just, you know, the like standard sports bras, right? Like this again has that shape and it kind of makes you feel a bit more feminine. So I think, you know, or you just get used to the fact that you're like, all right, well, this is what it is. We're going to work with what we got here. And, you know, you kind of think of it as like, well, I'm sporty, so this is what it should be like. And I think that becomes the norm for us. But actually, when you learn that there are other types of sports bras out there, you just like your whole world opens up.
Yeah, completely. And like, not everybody, and I think it's one of those things, especially as you're growing up and like younger girls, you go to schools, you're in clubs, and you see a girl who can kind of wear a crop toppy style sports bra because that's just that's her body shape, that's her breast size. Whereas not every girl is like that, because not every breast shape is that your breasts never going to be the same, never the same size. And it's kind of making sure that it's okay not to look like that girl. It's okay that just because that fits that girl doesn't mean it's going to fit you, and that's okay. It's okay to kind of find your own size. And yes, it's not going to, you might not like, it's not might not be very well, we're hoping that with the bras that we sell, they are colourful and kind of very feminine and stuff, but it's just making sure that kind of everybody knows that there is something out there, and you don't have to just settle because you can't find something straight away, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll just stick on the sports bra point for a time. From your point of view, is there anything that needs to be taken into consideration when finding a sports bra for American football? Obviously, we're creating a landing page we want to get as much information as we can, so we're making sure that we're putting out the right sports bras for American football. Is there anything that we need to take into consideration when kind of recommending sports bras for people who play your sport?
Yeah, so I guess the fact like having that tighter lower band, because sometimes like some of the girls might just wear their sports bras and then the padding over the top, not obviously like a jersey over the top of that, but like because we're working from like a low to high angle in terms of like our contact points, like that can get pulled up. So you want to make sure that it's snug enough that that's not going to be an issue. I think also the fact that, you know, especially for like the bigger chested girls, like they do have shaped like football pads basically to like bigger girls. But like, I think the padding bit's nice because it creates like a little bit of protection there as well. And just literally, I mean, like the support in general, like that was one of the things that was like so key about this one. But it's an impact sport, right? So you'd be looking along the same lines of rugby or almost like, you know, mixed martial arts in a lot of sense too, because you're so like on top of each other like that.
Would you say that you kind of look for non-wired bras more than you would wired?
Yeah.
Just in case you do kind of, if you are kind of somebody runs into you or there is contact, it's going to hurt less, for example. So you wouldn't be recommending wired, you'd be recommending kind of non-wired bras.
Agreed, totally agreed. Yes, yeah. Great point.
And how's the racer back kind of, do you ever kind of find that you're being pulled kind of by that or land funny on the racer back or anything like that?
No, the only thing, and mine doesn't have that effect. So racer back doesn't seem to make a difference at all. I mean, I guess maybe if like someone had one of the straps that had the, like, it was up here where there was like the plastic or something up here, I wonder if that would affect it, because your shoulder pads are obviously here, and if that's your strike point is your shoulder. So I wonder if that would have an impact on it. But no, I think the non-wired thing is a really good point.
Perfect.
That's really interesting to hear. So yeah, thank you for sharing that with us. So we'd also love to know what's next for you. Do you have anything like interested in the pipelines, or any matches? Are you still playing at the minute?
Yeah, so still playing. So we are now at the moment, we literally just had our development days for like kind of regrowing our GB program. So we had 122 girls attend that last weekend, which is great. And then we're working towards Euros for our tackle football. We're going to have those next year. We have qualifiers, Euros for our flag football, which is in August in Ireland. We've got our England Kabaddi League, which is another sport I play. So that starts up in the new year. We have our national finals for flag football coming up December 10th in Scotland. And then I just have all my NFL work going on. So it's kind of manic at the moment.
Like you had a bunch of girls kind of was it a camp kind of thing? Are you finding that there's more girls taking part in American football than there was kind of 10 years ago?
Big time. I mean, the program literally only just started up 10 years ago. And, we ended up getting a lot of rugby girls kind of crossover who had potentially reached the peak of their sport and were then wanting to have a new challenge. So we had it was great because we had a lot of elite athletes, but they were all predominantly late 20s, kind of early 30s. And those girls are now probably mid to late 30s. So this camp was brilliant because we had in a ton of like young girls coming through, and that's got to be what's next, right? Is creating that pathway. So we're creating an under 18s program for girls, making sure that they have somewhere to go, whether it is tackle or non-contact football. But the sport's growing also because the NFL is doing a lot and like putting a lot of money into it. We've just had our London games. So, there's a lot of buzz around it right now.